And so I rise from the depths of depravity to join you all in the theater. I figured I'd run through Prime Remastered. I was gonna do the OG Prime, but I can't figure out how to get uh, the setup working. And since this setup is fine, I'll just go through Prime Remastered as it's the same game with some unfortunate graphical choices that I feel were unnecessary and make the experience overall less fun. And I'll talk about them when I get to them. But this I feel like the stark differences in experience will serve as a good contrast to Metroid Prime 4's insufferable agony while I work on how I'm going to review it and if I'm going to do a video review of it or if I'm just going to do a blog on, like text review, because I will admit I do feel far more confident when I'm typing something out than I do when I'm visually performing something. So, anyways, without further ado, further rambling, further wasteful stuff, I'm going to get into the game. This is Metroid Prime Remastered, and I've been through Prime a number of times in my life, probably somewhere near 10-15 times. Love the game. It is incredible. Well, let's delete this one and we'll just start fresh. And we'll do it on normal, because I played 4 on normal, so let's get the experience 1-to-1 rather than, 1-to-2. And so it begins. Or I thought the fade out was going to be fade into game. There we go. Unidentified distress beacon has been tracked to a derelict space vessel in orbit above Talon 4. Don't mind that. And I will admit that visually it is more impressive because of the graphics upgrade. I would argue, and will always argue, a graphics upgrade is not always an improvement. And the changes in lighting that generally happen when HDing a game can change not only tone, but also the experience entirely. And in a lot of places, can make the experience overall more frustrating, as before it was done with hardline limitations and we have to make this visible for the player but enjoyable for the player. And when they HD it, they're just like, what looks the most visually pleasing to me? And it's like, that you've misunderstood the assignment. The assignment is just to make it look better, but not to make it awful by quote unquote improving the graphics. It's pedantry, but it's important. It's also something I'm looking for, because in the original, anytime you see a shot of Samus's face, she looks pissed as hell. So I'm gonna be looking for that to see if it matches up. And as always, you gotta get the nice booty shot. Look at those armor plates. It's even got a cleft. Alright. Now, I'm not playing on OG, control scheme. I've always liked it with the twin stick stuff. Yes, I do play any mode, any method of playing this game where it allows you twin stick or, mouse and keyboard or anything like that. Any kind of manual adjustment. I can play it on OG, I'm just not going to. Oh, I forgot so they did this stupid thing in In this version, for some reason, they added where you can't just like fire one shot and then charge. You have to fire 3. I don't know why. It was stupid, and they're stupid for it. Is it? Oh, it's to the right. I'm used to scan being on left. Because I just played 4 where scan was all on left. Force field activation switches are now online, and wouldn't you know it, it's another test. Visual, accuracy. That is the lock on there on L bumper. Alright. Oh, that's not right. Okay. Entrance to the main docking bay. Wonderful, wonderful. Another thing with the lighting, like, they not only changed, like, the way that the doors look, but they also changed, like how the shielding looks on the doors. Like, why are they all white? I don't get that. They were gray, and they looked like a door, like, the airlock, repressurization successful, that's nice. The problem here is, like, they changed the wall, like, coloration, and it looks bad, right? Maybe you don't agree. I don't know. I don't care. But, like, for me, this room, these doors, like... Okay, close the door again. Yeah. For me, this door shouldn't be so bright. It should be kind of matching the tone. It looks like they painted it... It really looks like they had someone paint it white and then chip off, like, chunks of it so that it would look, match. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. Alright. Man, I could see everything so much clearer on the OG. Morphology, unknown info, high levels of radiation detected. Don't know why I'm talking like this, but it just happened. Morphology, space pirate status, death caused by severing of the spinal cord. Nope. A new creatures entry has been downloaded to your logbook. Morphology, parasite, interstellar vermin. They travel in swarms. Indigenous to Talon 4, a single parasite is harmless to larger life forms. However, they tend to travel in large groups. You can see from the shape that it looks an awful lot like this. As you can, you look close enough, that just looks like the front view of this tiny thing that is now out of range and out of sight. Biohazardous materials, phase on badge 0142.A, destination Dick Beta. Biohazardous materials, phase on badge 009.8, destination to Deck Beta. Okay, the hell? Where's that wrong? Escape pod entrance, the vessel has already been jettisoned. Alright, well, let's move on. Nope. Stop that. Morphology, space pirate. Status, death caused by acidic burns to body, chemical type unknown. Tail section possesses a mouth-like orifice, most likely used for birthing offspring. Yep. Oh. Morphology, space pirate. Status, weak life signs detected. Well, let's make sure we're not seeing any. Escape pod number 3 launched in 4 and 7. Escape pod launch coordinates to Talon 4, 110L.30L, Research Command Center. Very interesting, very interesting. What are you? Biohazardous materials, alright, it's to Deck Beta. We all know it's to Deck Beta. Sorry, had to pin on the hammer there to see if, see how fast I could shoot. And if you recall from my playthrough of 4, the fire rate was, incredibly slow and absolutely agonizing early game. Because not only did you not do enough damage, but you didn't do enough damage fast enough. So yeah, it was a bit of a chore. Morphology, space pirate status, death caused by excessive blunt trauma to cranium. It's another white painted door. I don't know why they're painted white. Let's roll in here. Boop! Step into the hologram to download the map. Look at how simple that tutorial was. Talon 4 Ground Zero area secure. Crater radiation readings normal. Frigate exterior hull stable and fully functional. Boom, boom. A new research entry has been downloaded to your logbook. Map station. Walk into map station holograms to download a map of the area that you are in. 2 Parasite Queen specimens have become volatile on Deck Beta. All security personnel should report to the Biotech Research Area. Parasitic infestation has been detected in the ventilation systems of Decks Gamma and Beta. Looks like they made a mistake letting these creatures on board. Just powering through like a ton of information. That's probably the 4th time I've gone through this whole this section over the past few days. As if you recall, I mentioned earlier, my setup didn't work correctly, so I've spent multiple hours trying to do this and failing. So I'm gonna figure it out, and then I'm gonna go through it all again, right? Because I'm gonna go through OG. You have downloaded the map for this area. Press start to access the map. When you're finished, press start again to resume play. Okay, get me out of there. I'm not looking at the map. I don't need to look at the map, as I've been through a bajillion times. Nope. Access to Deck Beta approved. Please step into the hologram. Whoa! Look at how immediately visually, like, communicative that is. This seems like bad design. Like, 'cause this is like a fully functioning, like, thing, right? And you might be like, well, isn't the station all beat up because of, you know, the space pirates and stuff? But this elevator's still functioning correctly. Why is it grinding sparks? That's a very bad design. That's not. I'm not arguing that as like a complaint on the game. I'm arguing that as a complaint of like the, you know, the in universe thing, right? When I played through the first, when I played through the OG, I was able to like just push through that. You did. You did. I missed my timing on the doubles. Oh, wait. Oh, that was delicious. Oh, I broke something. Phazon, or maybe I broke something. Okay, maybe I didn't. Phazon Infusion, Stage 1, Parasite Larva Diagnostic, Mass 1.2 something, Length 0.5 something, Cell Structure Stable. Phazon Infusion, Stage 2, Introducing Mutagen into Tank, Phazon Batch 0732.C, Status Complete. Alright, and what do you guys say? A new pirate data entry has been downloaded. Space pirate encrypted data decoded. Log 09.992.3. Zebes has fallen. I'm gonna say it's Zebes. I don't care if it's like pronounced Zebus. Fight me. All ground personnel are presumed dead, either killed by the hunter clad in metal or the subsequent destruction of the underground facilities. Our research frigates Orpheon, Syriacus, and Volparagom were in orbit at 0 hour and managed to retreat. Frigate Orpheon is now docked at Vortex Outpost. Orpheon's cargo appears to have 100% survival rate. Metroids are healthy, but on restricted feeding schedules due to uncertain supply status. We are ready to begin research on the Metroids and other promising life forms. Security status remains at Code Blue. No signs of pursuit from the hunter. Very nice. That means they can do all kinds of work without being interrupted. And as we know, being interrupted while you're doing work is one of the worst possible things. Phazon Infusion Stage 3, Mutation Initiated, Larva Status Stable. No, next one. Where's the next one? Oh yeah, there's this thing. Once again showing that the tiny ones are the big ones. It appears that Phazon can make you grow. Morphology unknown info. This specimen has been horribly mutated. There are no life readings. Whoop! About to get hit. Phazon Infusion Stage 4, Larva Diagnostic, Mass 14.5 something, Length 40.3 somethings. Cell structure failing. Oh, yep, okay. Stop that. Specimen cell structure failing, Badge 0732.C does not match DNA, terminating infusion sequence. Cancerous cells, perhaps? Well. Infusion analysis 10.2. Specimens exhibit incredible strength and body mass increase when exposed to Phazon. Batch, yada yada. Morphology plasmite, it's a native of Talon 4. This is specimen solitary holding. Phazon level unknown. Status xenotropic life form unstable. Use caution. Alright, biohazard waste removal may begin in 3 hours. Phase on radiation readings must be reported to Deck Commander before batch disposal. And you, last but not least, Experiment 435.B, bioform pain tolerance levels at 13% and holding. And then it all died. Elevator operational, please step into the hologram. There you go. Okay, yeah. You got him, boys. Yep. Okay, let me get that out. No, I don't. And I've been through these like 2 or 3 times. I'm gonna get it anyways. 2 or 3 times. Most of these tell you creatures that show up on the planet, like this is the wasp. Yep, or wasp. Or they, you know, tell you, you know, solitary holding or something. Parasite larva, harmless. Unless encountered in large numbers. Ice Shriek Bat, native of Talon 4. You know, simple stuff. Dead Space Pirate, just didn't know it. Are you pushing that to the left? Yes, it was. Oh, hello. Dang it. We all know it's a missile refill. Access to Deck Gamma approved. Please step into the hologram. Gimme. You'll find out just how slow it makes the game when you have to deal with, like, 3 shots. Like, the game flow, like, slows down so much when you have to fire 3 shots before you can get a charge beam in. Like, I don't like it at all. I think it genuinely, like, slows down the game and makes it way less fun. And you might be like, it can't be that much. When you played the OG as many times as I have, it is. It does actually take quite a lot from you, and it is very frustrating. You argue, you know, whatever you want on it, but, like, any method to slow down and weaken the player based on modern ideas of how the game should be played, right, rather than any gutting of the player experience based on modern ideas of how the game should be played, what's the right way to say it? I'm like, my brain's fogging up right now. I gotta construct the thought completely so that I can say it all. And I think there's also a train incoming. There is a train incoming. That is without a doubt happening. I'll say it after the horn passes. Okay. Any modification of an older game based on modern ideas of how the game should be played or adjusted is unwarranted and worthless, entirely worthless. It has no value, no meaning, no purpose except to penalize players who otherwise haven't had the experience because someone on the dev team thought that players were either enjoying the game too much or playing the game in a way that they clearly intended when they initially released it, but decided against, you know, decades after the fact. It's like, well, you don't have the right? You really genuinely don't have the right. I don't care if you're the OG dude and you're like, well, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. Well, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. Why do you hate the player? Right? That's my thoughts. Like, it's unwarranted. The change is unwarranted and worthless. And I think that introducing just that is enough to degrade the experience dramatically. Like, if you've gone from enjoying it as it was intended on release, even in the update where they patched out the ability to hold like C up and then fire missiles like machine gun style, even after that they still didn't put in this stupid like shot buffer before charge shots. So yeah, I just like, I don't like it. I don't think it's good. I don't think it has any value, and I think that it should have never been done. I think that it invariably weakens the experience and makes it less fun. And I think that I have less fun on this, enough that it annoys me to talk about it, right? Or not annoys me to talk about it. Enough of a downgrade that it annoys me enough to talk about it. That's the right way to say that, not right say to weigh that. So yeah. Anyways, back to the game. Enough jabbering. Enough jabbering, showing my age by my appreciation for the old. Door lock enabled. Get your balls in there. Notice how they just give me a quick, hey, hold the button to do the thing. No! Damn it. Do this again. I walked too far away from the door and it closed on me. That is my bad, my fault. I was supposed to, like, pull in the pickup to buy a charge, then open the door and go in there. Also, this game has Spring Ball, which is neat. And I think this allows you to get to certain places you couldn't in the OG, because I don't think Spring Ball's in the OG. I could be wrong about that, but I don't believe it's in the OG. I think Spring Ball happens in... I think it happens in Prime 3. I don't think it happens in Prime 2, but I'm not sure. As much as I love Prime 2, I just don't remember Spring Ball in it, but I don't remember if Spring Ball isn't in it. No, it can't be. It can't be in Prime 2. Anyways, unimportant rambling. Let's get into the boss, because I can scan all those, but we all know they're Dead Space pirates, and you'd be able to see it better if the lighting were the same as it were in the OG. I wasn't thinking about it, but does like Prime 4's Sama suit, like a various suit have the cheek cleft? I don't know. I have to like I don't want to like play the game ever again, but I'm tempted to look at it. All right, here's the Parasite Queen. We all know what this is. All right. Dang. Oh! Got it! Boss done.
Evacuate immediately.
Yay! Reactor core critical! Let's go! Blowing stuff up! As is our right! As the Galactic Federation's #1 planet destroyer. Access to Deck Beta, and let's go. Yeah, that's the Parasite Queen and scanning to some on the flow that I've been through this again a number of times, as I said before. Auto turret disabled, yeah! Where is the auto turret, by the way? I want to get some missiles. Can I turn it back on, actually? No, turn it back on. I want missiles, darn you! Well. Oh, yellow. Don't give me health, give me missiles! Missiles! Oh, swung that too far. Alright, let's get out of here. the one that's on it? No! Come on! And of course you can see from all the chaos that those things provide. Whoops. It's confusing to me. You can see from all the chaos that things provide that in fact parasites are very destructive. And bad for everyone, everything. Outside of their natural habitat, of course. It's a neat little thing you can notice. Of things that could have changed is when the shielding, like when the next room loads. Oh, forgot about that. When the next room loads, those specific doors you can fire through. And I think instead of putting in a buffer for like charge beams, they should have focused on that, because that's actually like a neat little visual screw up that they did way back when. Aha! Behold! Ridley! Hello. Yes, you're very beautiful wings. Dang, Ridley got away, and I did nothing to stop him. Alright. Let's use the grapple beam. It's not psychic though, so it's not cool, as we all know from our experience, or from the experience of, I want that thing to be up. The experience of Metroid Prime 4, if it doesn't have psychic on it, it's not cool. Access to Deck Alpha approved. Please step into the hologram, and we'll do that just as soon as we lose all of our power-ups. Oh! No, not everything that I had to start with. Ah! Various suit malfunction, morph ball malfunction, missile malfunction, charge beam malfunction, grapple beam malfunction. It's like they all fell down the sink. See, now it's weird when you just like hit the hit the button. Room is depressurizing, depressurization complete. You can sit there and hold it, right? You're just pressing down on that button, and it won't do anything. I wish that... I genuinely do wish I could just like plug in a mouse and keyboard and like, you know, manually assign controls, but Nintendo just like hates the idea of their computer being used like a computer, and so, yeah, that ain't happening. Not for another 2-3 generations. Nintendo, when it comes to generalized functionality, is always behind the times, but when it comes to suing the crap out of you and making sure you can't, you know, do something, they're all over it. Now let's go hunt down Ridley! He is one fast flying dragon, if you think about it, right? Like, Samus had to turn on her boosters there to try and catch up with him, and he's just chilling it way too fast. Tracking on enemy target has been lost. Ground-based recon required. Begin landing sequence. I swear, if I started recording this and if it's recorded in 30 frames per second, I just have to deal with that, and I'm gonna be so angry about it, right? But like, I hope it's just the way the recording looks, because I'm so tired of like, I'm so tired of technical mishaps because of my lack of understanding, right? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. So I hope it's in 60 frames. If not, this is like kind of a like last time I'm going through it in, you know, 5 days. And I'll fix it in the next video. Like, because when I did the OG one, I tried recording it through a different program, and the result was that it showed it looked like I had put the footage through a microwave, and I can't stand the idea of putting out a product if it's garbage. And so I was like at a loss for like a day and a half. And yeah, so that's why I, not done anything, right? I want to be doing a video a day ad infinitum, because I want this to be I don't know. I want this to be like a daily ritual. Keep a little rhythm in my life. That way I can talk about the things I want to talk about, have my thoughts on record, so that if someone asks me, why do you like Majora's Mask more than, Ocarina of Time, I can point to like a 30-hour playthrough of Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask and be like, if you watch, like I can, or like edit it through a clip show of, those videos. I can be like, if you watch this, you can see every single thing I think about it. And you can see my reasoning for it too, right? I'm tired of having to muster the thoughts individually, although that is a good practice to constantly, be ready to argue your point if necessary, right? I'm going to try and practice to always be mentally capable of arguing my point at any time until such a time as my body fails me, right? And my brain just starts breaking down, and we've got Biden level audio screw ups, or Biden level translation errors, where the thought was definitely somewhere in the head but never made it past the lips. Where is it going? Oh, man, there it drops again. I dropped the thought again. Yeah, see, already getting old. I'm just sleepy today, man. I had an awful sleep the day before, and I'm just still recovering, because, the older you get, the worse sleep you get the day before, the worse you function the day after. Anyway, I want the quality of my product to be good enough that I can stomach watching it again if I have to. If the quality of the product is so god-awful that I wouldn't sit there and watch the video, even on like second monitor, I won't put the video up. That's just me. Alright, let's save the file, because I'm going to try to do a thing, and I don't know if it's possible in this version. It might not be. Hold on. This might be like, alright. I missed it. It might not be a thing I can do. Damn. Alright. I messed it up. Or it's not available in this version. It might not be available in this version. There's a thing where you can get early space jump. I don't think it's available in this version, but I don't know for certain. I don't remember the differences between. I don't remember the revision differences between 1 and 1.1. Now 1.2, which has even more annoying anti-player stuff. Set of thought. It's like, well, it's anti-player, but it's pro-developer. Yeah, well, developers aren't the ones to play this stuff all the time. Access to Chosen Ruins West granted. Please step another hologram. Yeah, but like, developers aren't the ones who play this all the time. They think of something as like, this is the way I intended it, and players think of it as, this is what's fun. Right? Now, there's certain overlaps where you've got to accept the developer design for, the end game, like for the end result. But because, like, like an alpha, you have to accept developer, design until it hits release. But after release, it's like, now you've got to be careful, because like, you're either, if you continue to update it and you take away things the players enjoy, then you are actually, destroying the experience, all for your vaunted, or all for your vanity. but if you are like, if you're fixing things that, like, well, it's like this may be fun, but it's actually like it makes the game unplayable beyond a certain point. It's like, oh, okay, well then, yeah, you have to yield the point as a player. But like, if it's you're doing this because I didn't want them to do that, then it's like you're the problem. You have genuinely assaulted the player with your vanity, and that is not. It's not a physical thing you can do. It's a what's the right way to say that? You're not physically assaulting a player with your vanity, but you are, inflicting your vanity on the player. That's the sense I'm trying to say. Anyways, let's get to scanning. A new Chozo lore entry has been downloaded to your logbook. Chozo script translated. The history of the Chozo stretches back into ancient times, so far into the fog of the past that we know not where our ancestors came from. One thing is clear, however: the Chozo who colonized Talon 4 made a conscious choice to assure a civilization of advanced technology. We Chozo chose to live in harmony with nature, guided by the providence of the universe. We believe we will spend peaceful days here, and plan to leave our words from time to time. Leave our words? I thought it said worlds. Leave our words from time to time. Okay. Well, good to know, brother. In this, you can note that it does actually show you, new areas in the older games. It is my impatience that makes me not want to watch the cinematic every time. A new creature has been downloaded to your logbook. Morphology beetle, burrowing insect with a resilient carapace, extremely aggressive. The insect's massive mouth enables it to tunnel through solid rock at high speeds. Above ground, beetles can cover short distances rapidly. They attack anything that moves near their lair. Well, let's dodge that, because I don't have to fight it, and so I'm not. Wow, I'm starving. I'm gonna have to get something to eat between this and the next one. Right, I don't have charge. Ugh, so much harder to do on joystick than M&K. A new Chozo lore entry has been downloaded to your logbook. Chozo script translated. Many long years have passed since we Chozo first took root in this land. The passage of time has always been a source of fascination to us. It is the belief of many Chozo sages that the truths of the universe hide within the tumbling currents of time's flow. Even as we search for answers there, however, we find illumination in other unexpected places. We know not how the ability has come to us, but recently many Chozo have begun to sense things beyond the realm of ordinary perception. Strange sights and inexplicable sensations flood our minds, filling us with visions. We take this growing ability to be a sign of our burgeoning harmonization with the infinite. Perhaps, finally, the universe's secrets are becoming known to us. All you had to do was go live as a hippie. Just ditch the tech, and you can unlock the secrets of the universe. Oop, got missiles. Nice little reference to Super Metroid there with the light bugs. And I believe they use them in one room specifically, and then never again. Like that, well, two rooms specifically, and then never again. And in the OG, it's just to show you they're there, and then in the second room, it's to actually use the light mechanics, because, back then it was like a bigger thing. Here they're indistinguishable from each other because they both are demonstrations of the lighting changes. Anyways. What could that be? It appears this item can only be reached using the elevated bridge. This elevated bridge looks worn, but functional. Alright, let's go. Oh no! Not that. A boss fight? Already? Dang, brother. Where is it? Where's it land? There it landed. Alright, oh, well. Ugh, God. Oh, really? There's something up. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And I missed it entirely. Alright. Boss battle over. Missiles unlocked, baby! Missile launcher! Missile launcher acquired. Press R to fire, press ZR and or A to switch back to beams. Missiles can destroy blast shields on doors. Additional data downloaded to inventory screen. Press select to access the inventory screen. Now, once more for the class! Oh wait. No, because we don't do that in good games. It's a neat thing. We all know it's a neat thing. Maximum energy capacity increased by 100 units. 100 units of health. And that is a morphball thing that I cannot do because I do not have morphball. Wow, thank you developers of the OG for dropping those down. That's awesome. Now I can get out of the room successfully and safely. That's all we had to do. And I can't get a single one of those missile drops! Now, is there anything to scan over there? Yes, stress points in the brimstone wall. A concussive blast may shatter it. Well, 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 wouldn't you know? Ow. Missile expansion acquired. Maximum missiles by 5. Up by 5. Let's say save room or map room. Let's get that map. And then not look at it until I get lost. Thomas not furiously angry. You've downloaded the map for this area. Press start to yada yada. Alright, let's go. Yes, I know. Shush. Oh. Oh no! These have a higher chance of dropping health than missiles. Did anyone die low enough for me to pick up the ammo? No? Maybe if I jump from the platform? Maybe I get lucky? No! Don't leave me! Mother! Father! That's a dumb reference to Batman. Oh, nice. Let's drop missiles. Good, good, excellent. Right, let's go to the right, because if I recall correctly, and I do, because I've been through it, like, again, 3 times in 2 days, or 5 days, or whatever, that is locked by this. I think they changed the drop rates of the creatures. Also, notice how nothing except me walking through that field of things that are guaranteed to damage me did, like, extensive, incredible damage. Yeah, that's really nice. You know, when you start the game, you don't have to deal with, like, oppressive damage from every single source. And I'm always going to bring up Thunderdome as, like, the worst thing in the universe, because it was the worst thing in the universe. These things are doing 10 damage. You know how much they do in Thunderdome? All of my health. Yeah, I'm still not over. I'm never going to be over. It was garbage balance, and it will remain garbage balance for the rest of my day. Here's the big boy. Oh no! This one's got a big fat booty! And he seems like he's got some plating on the front of his face. Oh no! A new creature has been downloaded to your logbook. Morphology: plated beetle. Well-armored burrowing insect. Vulnerable only in the booty. Creature's thick cranial plating can... I was about to say... thick abdominal plating. It's like, no, it's not the backside. Creature's thick cranial plating can repel frontal attacks. This gives an advantage in combat, allowing it to make ramming attacks, only surfacing when it detects vibrations above. It then maneuvers itself so as to always face its rival, keeping its exposed abdomen protected. Just say it this way, ain't no way you're tapping that ass. Unless you do that. Whoa! Boss finish, brah! Looks like we're getting the item. And these missiles, cause hell yeah. What could this be? The Morph Ball! Ain't that neat? It's necessary that you jump in the air and do like 50 spins before you get them, like before you let the Morph Ball hit you. Otherwise it might break a bone. Press Y to activate Morph Ball mode. Use L to move the ball around. Additional data can be downloaded to inventory... additional data is downloaded to the inventory screen. Press select to access the inventory screen. Whee! Alright, now that I got a Morph Ball, I can do that other thing that I needed Morph Ball for. So we're going to go back to the first boss area and get whatever that weird is, which is probably another item. And then we're gonna... am I gonna move forward? Because I know there's some more stuff I can do. Wish I could get that, but I can't. Yeah, nothing does as much damage as those things when they land and you walk through them. For a good long while, too, actually. Ugh. And my precision isn't quite as good. Alright, behind this is a thing that leads to a thing. Okay, see, like, why are the doors painted white here? That's a genuine question. Why are the doors painted white here? Why do they glow like that? It's, like, visually distinct, yes, but visually attractive? No. And that's a weird word to use, but, like, it's a jarring disconnect from the rest of the world. Why? Because they felt that the doors were too dark in their new lighting setup. Well, it's like, maybe you shouldn't have changed the lighting. Maybe you should have kept it so that it was easily communicable without having to change an entirely change the texture, or at least the palette of the texture, so that you could see the blasted thing. Maybe just understand when people see the shield glow, which you can, register and manage in your, brain, right? Maybe when you register the shield glow, there's nothing there. And maybe when you register the shield glow, you can be like, oh, that's a door. I should hit it. Instead of failing to trust the consumer. Alright, what jump? Interesting. What gets you... It's probably space jump. Anyways, instead of failing to trust the consumer to use their brain, you're assuming that the consumer is too stupid, put it that way. Trying to curb my speech, not because I'm worried about like YouTube stuff. I'll never be concerned about money on this channel. I'm never gonna fold to money. I'm folding to propriety, because I feel that I feel like I should present myself in a more respectable manner, and I'm using this channel to work through social disciplines that I otherwise lack, to reinforce the idea that I can operate without having to either use profanity or vulgar language, right? And also to practice words and, practice speaking on days where I would otherwise say nothing and be lost in my thoughts. Anyways, not worried about money. I'm worried about being respectable as an elder. I don't know where I started that. Oh, I was just commenting on my own curbing of my own speech. A new Chozo lore entry has been downloaded to your logbook. Chozo script translated. The futures of everything ever changing and always in doubt. Even if we Chozo could gain the ability to foresee the future, it would be a hollow gift, for we could never hope to control what has yet to occur. The fountain is an example of this. The day may come when its water dries up, and there is nothing we could do to stop such a tragedy. But we do not know this. Unlike the uncertain flow of water, the power of our will is strong and enduring. The will of the Chozo will never run dry. So if you've read the OG, that's an interesting detail. I wonder if that happens in the original. If you play the OG, oh god, it's so dark in this room, and my controller battery is running low. Whoops. It's so dark in this room for no reason. You read the OG logs. It's like a different attitude entirely. They actually are like they're less nasal, I want to say is the term I'm looking for. No, nasal's like an auditory descriptor. They're less. There's a term for fart sniffing. There's a term for the attitude of something that is, I guess philosophical is the word I'm looking for. They're less philosophical in the manner that they are. They're philosophical in a different manner entirely, and it's honestly, it feels weak-willed and pathetic in this version, and it felt very strong in the other one. I can't explain that very well, but when I'm going through OG, I'll when I'm going through OG, I'll point it out. This appears to be the first of 3 locking mechanisms that seal the gate. This is the second of several mechanisms that lock the gate. This is the third of yes. You're supposed to go back through here when you get Mark Ball Bomb so you can get that missile pack, but I'm going through so I can get this E-Tank. Alright. And let's pop through here. It's weird doing it on this version, because in this version you get the reticle in the center of the screen, and I did this on OG where you on OG, and in the method I did it, I didn't have the ability to tell where I was aiming at. So that was fun. It was an entertaining practice of hitting the dead center of the screen without knowing where the dead center of the screen is outside of memory. I keep thinking I have Morph Ball Bombs, so I keep bumping into doors like that. Ah, we know what that scan that thing. Stop A new creature's entry has been downloaded to your logbook. Morphology: plasmite, small insect capable of storing and releasing thermal energy. Plasmites are attracted to sources of heat. Thriving on the energy present here, they emit light when hunting, and will expel small bursts of thermal energy when threatened. Yeah. Otherwise known as a firefly. Is this the way to do it? Yes. The room is too dark to see in. Supposed to use them because they're like, look at this path, this is how you do it. And I'm frustrated because I have been through this like a bunch. As I've said many times, this room leads to nothing, I think. This room leads to a good point I can make. Also, changing in lighting means that those clouds of danger, they puff, like when you kill them, they explode in like a noxious gaseous cloud. And it the way they did the texture for it, it is harder to see, not as easy to understand. Bad, do not touch. So this is fun. Remember when I was playing Prime 4, I was very frustrated. At the end of it, I think I mentioned it, or maybe I mentioned it in my like demo review, because I ran through all my thoughts and stuff. I was like, here's the demo, here's like all my thoughts as I can conjure them, and then I'm either going to edit it together or I'm going to rerun it, retype it out, or rerun it, type it out, and then go through it all, and it'll be sterile on whatever. And still working on that, still haven't decided. So one of the things I complained about over the few days is that there's no heated rooms in Prime 4, and I don't think there are heated rooms in Prime 4. Because by the time that you need the heated suit, you have the heated suit. You never come up on a door like this, where not only will the game tell you, where is it? Intense heat readings detected behind this door. Not only do you never run up on a door that says that, on top of that, you never run into a room that hurts you. Heat level critical. I'm running out of heat constantly in this room. If I don't step out of this room, I'm going to die. So there's no heated rooms in Prime 4, and I will fight you on the hill, but if you can prove to me that there are heated rooms in Prime 4, I'll yield the point. Alright, I'm not going to die on something I could be easily disproven on. But by the time that you need it, you have the suit. You have the heat suit. You never run up on a room where you need the heated suit, and you don't have the heated suit. Right? So that, I think, I consider that a negative point towards the game, because not only does it doesn't require that you be, conscious and careful, don't run into it, and it's kind of like a tradition, right? You run into an area where the suit benefits you, but you don't have the suit. And so it allows you to come back through these areas later and enjoy the feeling of having that suit, of being able to get those suits. And it's potentially sorry, watching. I have a video running on the side thing. Anyways. It prevents you from getting that good feel, getting that, but it also refuses the idea that you can run through an area a second time and have any enjoyment out of the matter. And I feel like it's a reaction to this idea that you can never backtrack. You can never allow for backtracking in any game ever at any time, right? The idea is that you don't backtrack. You don't force the player to backtrack for any reason. And I think I think the idea of backtracking as a gaming sin is a gaming sin in and of itself. I think the idea of a basic exploration of mechanics through revisiting an area, I think the demonization of a game mechanic as a gaming sin is itself a gaming sin. I think it, much like getting rid of escort missions, proper escort missions, that crap they did in 4 was poorly done. You either give me someone I have to protect and I understand they can die, or you give me someone I don't have to protect and I understand that they can't die, right? Like, there are two kinds of escort missions. One is a chore, one is a fun thing, and one is a waste of time, and one is an actual escort mission where you have to protect the individual. And, like, I think along with getting rid of escort missions, getting rid of backtracking, getting rid of all these things, like, you create the idea that you can't do these things, or the player will dislike them, and so you start running so far away from actual good fun game design out of desperation to always have the player thinking of a positive experience of your game, when there are just points not only in life but also in gaming where you have to, slow down. It's not always a roller coaster, and that's a good thing. Much like in life, where there is a necessary level of discomfort for you to enjoy it. You might not understand what that means, and I can't fully explain it in great detail because it's a philosophical point I'm working out, but understand in my personal life and exercise. There's a certain level of discomfort that you need not only to enjoy a game, but also to enjoy life. Having a escort mission where you have to protect the person and they can die is a level of discomfort necessary to have a good experience. Having a game where there are areas where you re-explore after getting more power is a necessary discomfort to enjoy the game, because the feeling of going through that area with everything you got in future is worth having to go back, because you then have that power. You then get to know them. You get to unlock the thing. You get to get, this is like a missile packer, and you take, but you get to have that. You get to know. You get to fly through it. And if you look really closely, there's grappling hooks in there too. Even if I could go in there because of the heat, I still can't get through there because of that, right? So yeah, there's necessary discomfort in life, in games, in everything. Necessary discomfort in reading books. You have to feel uncertain and tense and unsure of what's going to happen with the protagonist, or the experience is less exciting. And I can argue this directly based on my experience with John Carter of Mars, the Barsoom series. A Princess of Mars has a prologue that. A Princess of Mars has a prologue that leads into the events of... what's the second book called? Gods of Mars. But if you haven't read Gods of Mars, it doesn't make a lot of sense. However, the prologue to Gods of Mars informs you that... it informs you enough about... I'm going to not spoil... either or any of those books. If you haven't read them and want to, they're fantastic. Please do support Edgar Rice Burroughs. Even if he's dead, like, even if he's long dead, support this man. His works were incredible, or at least the first 3 books of the Barsoom series were incredible, and I think everyone should read them. But the prologue to 2 takes, though I still felt it, right, because it didn't matter to me, because I got wrapped up in the book. That's the intensity and the quality of the writing. But if you always keep in mind the prologue of 2 while you're reading 2 and 3, you lose a lot of the tension and value in the book because of what you discover if you read the prologue. But it takes away discomfort. And until you get so wrapped up in the story like I did, you have constantly reminding there's this absence of discomfort, absence of an ability to get involved in it. And so events hit less impactfully. You're constantly going on a low flow. You never get into high flow state where you're just like devouring the book, right? Which... because I did actually get into high flow and forgot the prologue, counteracting my own point there, but by taking out discomfort, you take away enjoyment, right? The book would have been infinitely more enjoyable had I not known about the prologue. It did get quite enjoyable, but it would have been more enjoyable had I not read that prologue, had I not known the information I knew the whole time. And so with backtracking, the game is infinitely more enjoyable because you go into these rooms, you get damaged, you're like, oh no, I gotta get out of oh shit, I gotta get out of here. I genuinely didn't want to like have the door close on me. Like, oh no, I gotta get out of here. Man, what's in there? Ah, I can't do anything about it, right? You want to go back and you go through it. It's something that even the latest, like Metroid Dread kept in. But Metroid Prime 4 is too good for backtracking? Metroid Prime 4 is too good for danger zones where you don't have all the resources? Screw that. Screw that. 100%. 100%. Like, no. You're a bad designer if you think that necessary sections of discomfort are unacceptable and that the player shouldn't have to deal with them. I don't have charge. That! Necessary discomfort. I don't have charge. I know that I don't have charge. I remember that I don't have charge only after I have tried to charge absorb power-ups. It is necessary discomfort. Backtracking, escort missions, all the things the gamers have railed on for years, they were actively wrong about. I will fight on that hill, because it is necessary discomfort. People are seeking out a world without discomfort, and they are wrong for it, and it is invariably weakening their life experience. Anyways, there's a safe spot up here. I'm gonna pop these. There's a safe spot up here. And I'm going to call the episode here, as I've gotten off on a ramble of irrelevant to the playing of Metroid Prime. Well, no, I wouldn't say it's irrelevant. I would say it's fundamental. But tangential in... I would say it's fundamental, but also tangential. Those words don't work that way. It's fundamental, but not readily apparent as to why it's fundamental. Anyways, that will be the episode for the day. And I will see you in the next one. Deuces. Oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't do that. Deuces? Because, like, no. I don't live there. I don't gotta worry about that. We're just gonna say it and not do the V. Deuces.